Merry Christmas. I'm Jack, and you're watching Thomas and Jack Do Movies. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Bumblebee, and then I'm also going to do kind of a counter review to Aquaman and compare the two movies, Bumblebee and Aquaman. But first, I'm going to start with the Bumblebee review. So my criteria for a movie to be good is it needs to have a good story, and it needs to have good characters, good character development. The characters need to be memorable. I need to remember them. The action needs to be very well choreographed. It also has to be well edited and shot. So does Bumblebee meet my criteria? Well, it does. It has an incredible story. The story is amazing. It's just so good, especially being a Transformers movie. Most of the Transformers movies, the 5 that came before it, didn't really have a story at all. So having just a story is good, but this has a good story, which is really good. And then the characters. The characters are great. So Charlie is the main girl, and then of course we had Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and then Charlie's boyfriend. So do the characters have character development? Surprisingly, and I say surprisingly because it's a Transformers movie, but yes, they do. Charlie has a great character arc, great character development. And by the end, she's ready. She loves Bumblebee and everything, not in a weird way, but just everything she's gone through. She's grown to love Bumblebee, but she knows that she has to do the right thing. And I'm not going to spoil what it is. But yeah, so are the characters memorable? I don't remember any of their names. I remember Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Charlie. I don't remember her boyfriend's name, the mom's name, her brother's name, the dad's name. I don't remember John Cena's character's name. I just remember him as John Cena. I don't even know if they say his name. They probably do, but I don't remember it. So the name remembering part, it flops. But I remember who the characters are and what they have to go through and everything, which is good. And the action. The action is very well choreographed. It's not right up in your face. You know, it's not just metal clanging against metal right up in your face like the other Transformers are. It's actually very well choreographed. And there's not just a ton, overextensive amount of money spent on the action. There's like 3 or 4 main action scenes, and they are choreographed amazingly. And the movie delivers a very impactful emotion through the characters. I paused a lot in that sentence. But the emotion is great. You feel for Charlie when you learn about her problems and what she's had to go through and everything. You feel for Bumblebee when he loses his voice. He loses his voice in this movie. You feel for all the Autobots because Cybertron is pretty much taken over by the Decepticons, and you really feel for them. And they're just escaping with their lives. So you really do feel emotion for the characters, which is, again, a really good thing, especially when it's a Transformers movie. It's really good. And then finally, is it well edited and shot? Yes, there were many times when I was like, wow, that was a great shot. Like, amazing. So now, while watching the movie, I'm just going to tell you the good things about it. The opening is so good. It has the Bumblebee title, and then it goes right into the opening. And this opening, wow, it is one of my favorite openings in any movie ever, and by far the best opening or scene in any Transformers movie. It goes on for like 5 minutes, and I could watch 3 hours of what this opening is. It's so awesome. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. So you hear about them being just great warriors in the other Transformers movies. Well, this one, you really learn that they are fantastic warriors. They are amazing fighters. They're so good, and that's why Bumblebee is sent on this mission that he's on in this movie. It's just because he's so awesome. He's so great. And then Optimus Prime. It was so fun. Because there were these 3 nerds. There were 3 nerds. The biggest Transformers nerds there probably are in Joplin. But when it first shows Optimus come into the opening scene, they go crazy. They just start yelling, Optimus, yes! And then when Bumblebee comes in, and then it shows like a squad of Decepticons that are really big Decepticons in like the cartoons and whatnot. And they just start freaking out because they're like, oh, there's Blibbity Blue, there's Dibbity Doo. What? Oh my gosh. They were freaking out. It was really funny, and it really added to the experience. I gotta take this thing off. So then another good part were the characters. So there was Charlie, her boyfriend, John Cena, and then just all the Transformers that were in this movie, which weren't a ton. And that's a thing that I like, because all the other Transformers just have a ton of Transformers, and I don't like it because you just can't follow all of them. It gives a story to all the Transformers that are in it, and the main ones are Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and then there's like 2 Decepticons, and that's pretty much it. And it's really good, because then you can focus on the fighting between Bumblebee and these 2 Decepticons. Then of course John Cena, he's John Cena, he's good, when he's funny, he's funny. When he's serious, he's still funny. I think there were a couple scenes when he was trying to be serious and I laughed, which that could kind of be taken as a bad thing, but I'll get to that. And then, as I said before, the character development is just amazing from beginning, Charlie's story to the end. It ties up fantastic, and she has great development. Same as Bumblebee. It's everything he does, everything that happens to him is there to enhance his story. And then all the fight scenes, like I said, they give you goosebumps, or it's not right up in your face. You can actually see what's going on. It's so cool, and they're few and far between, which I also liked. It's not just non-stop blowing up buildings and everything. It was also not too long. It's an hour and 54 minutes, I think. And that's not too long. And that's actually a problem I had with Aquaman. It was 2 hours and 23 minutes, and I honestly got bored, and my butt hurt. But the fact that it's not too long, Bumblebee is not too long, means that I can go see it over and over again. So that's another good thing. It is a multiple watch movie. I told my mom and I went and saw this. We got out, and I said, I bet I could go in there and watch this whole movie over again like 3 times, because it's really good. The new director, that's another good thing. The fact that it's not directed by Michael Bay. Now he was a producer in the movie, but he didn't direct it or write it or anything. So the new director, can't remember his name, but he all he's done is animation. This is his first live action movie, and he just blows it out of the park. I really wouldn't care who it is, as long as it's not Michael Bay. Pretty sure he has like a 90% chance to make a better movie than Michael Bay would. And the fact that it's a soft reboot, but it's also part of the main story, which are admittedly trash, except for the first one. The first one's pretty good. You'll kind of see if you see the movie, how it's a soft reboot, but still a part of the main story. Also, the comedy. The comedy in this movie is spot on. When it wants you to laugh, you laugh. Especially with Bumblebee. Bumblebee is pretty hilarious in this movie. And everyone, John Cena, as I said, he's pretty funny. So just anytime it wants you to laugh, you pretty much laugh. So then finally, the end scene. The end scene is when the first Transformers movie begins. Only it's taking place in 1987. So, yeah. Plus, it's very touching, and it's really good. It ends Charlie's character arc very well in the end scene. It also ends Bumblebee's character arc in the end scene, and the completion of his mission. Now I'm going to get to the bad. The bad part is it's still a part of the main movies. Now, I said that's kind of a good thing, but I really don't want it to be a part of those trash movies, because those movies are trash. They are complete trash. And then John Cena being serious. When he's serious, he's actually almost more funny than he is when he's joking, because you almost just can't take this dude seriously, because he's so funny. He's just so big and, everything, and then he's just serious. And you're like, this guy can't be serious. What? Anyway, so then the scene where the Decepticons transform twice. I'm pretty sure this scene is in the trailers, but they've transformed into a helicopter and a jet. They transform into hot rods, and then they transform into themselves. And I'm like, why did they need to do that exactly? That doesn't make much sense. They're like within 3 seconds they transform twice, and I thought that was kind of ridiculous. And then the Mean Girls. No joke. If you look up the cast, there's 2 Mean Girls. That's their names. It's Mean Girls. I could have done without them, even though it seems like every Transformers just has to have hot, half-shirted girls in it that are bullies, pretty much. And that's I could have done without them. But they do kind of add to Charlie's character development, so I can kind of see why they were in it. And then the end, it's weird because it ends and then it shows who directed it. It goes Bumblebee, directed by blah, and then it goes to the next scene, and it's not a post credit scene. It's just next scene, and it cuts back and forth, kind of weird. And I also thought it was kind of weird why they would say the Bumblebee title, who it's directed by, and then just go to another scene in the movie, and then it rolls the mid credits, and then it goes to the end credits. So I thought that was kind of weird and ridiculous, but yeah. So those were the bad things about the movie. All right, so now I'm going to review Aquaman. It's just going to be a very quick review, kind of short, since Thomas already did a review on it. I just kind of wanted to say the bad things about it that I don't think he thought were bad, or he just didn't think about. I'm not sure. I just know that he really liked the movie, and I didn't really like the movie. So, of course, I have my criteria. It needs to have a good story, good characters, good character development, a memorable characters, well choreographed action, emotion, and then well edited and shot. So the story, I'm not going to dive into it too much, pun intended, but the story was good. It was perfectly adequate. It was an okay story, all right? It was fine. You know, if you want a story that's going to blow you away, then this isn't going to be that story, but it has a story nonetheless. The characters are okay. You know, I mean, it's Aquaman. He's cool. Mira's good. You know, I just didn't care much about them. They didn't have much for me to care about for some reason. I just didn't feel for them. But they were memorable. I do remember all the characters. I remember Aquaman, Mira. I remember Ocean Master / King Orm. I remember the Russian guy. As in Russian guy who plays in Rockies, the Russian bad guy. He's in this movie as one of the kings of one of the kingdoms. And then emotion. I barely felt any emotion in this movie. It was really astounding because they wanted me to feel emotion, but I didn't. I just didn't care about these characters. And it was well edited and shot. I have to say that. It was well edited and shot, especially the fight scene between Aquaman and Ocean Master when they go up against each other in the middle of the movie. That was a well shot movie. But the biggest problem I had with this movie was its final battle. So the final battle is bad, all right? It's supposed to be cool, but it's too much CGI, and it has too many holes in it. So King Orm is trying to get the Crab King on his side, but he won't. So he cuts off his arm, and he's like, if you don't join, I'm going to kill you. And then Aquaman comes up with this big kraken, you know, and you're thinking that the crab guy is the good guy, right? Because he's not wanting to join Orm, because Orm wants to take over the world, you know, the topside world, the land, you know. And then Aquaman comes up under the crab army and just kills every single crab, and probably the Crab Kings, and never shows him again in the whole entire thing. And he just comes up on this huge kraken and is just killing everybody on both sides. And I'm like, what's going on? And B, I thought they were the good guys. Why are they dying? You know, it's what the heck is going on? And I just thought it was way too messy, way too much not good looking CGI. It was just a mess. And then it was too much like The Last Jedi. So if I saw it again, I'd be able to pick it apart just piece by piece like I can The Last Jedi. And then Black Manta. They should have had all Black Manta or no Black Manta. They should have focused on him or just had none of him in it and saved him for the sequel. Because he really doesn't have that great of a part, and for that big of a DC villain, he should have had a bigger part. And there was too much action, not enough story, but it was good for a DC movie. I have to say that. If I'm going to compare it to the DC movies, it was good. Anyway, so it was probably better than Wonder Woman, but not as good as Man of Steel, in my opinion. So I'd probably give it a 5.5 out of 10 if I were going to rank it. And yeah, that was my short counter review on Aquaman. I know Thomas already did one, but I just wanted to give kind of a negative review on it. And I'm not going to say any good things because Thomas already said good things about it. And it would make this video too long. So anyway, yeah, that was my Aquaman review. It's kind of good action flick. If you like nonstop action and sci-fi and DC, you'll love this movie. If you don't like over-the-top action, it's actually comparable to the other Transformers movies. Over-the-top action, not enough story. There you go. That's my comparison. But yeah, I think Bumblebee is a way better sci-fi action flick than Aquaman. Anyway, that was my comparison and review of Aquaman and Bumblebee. If you agree with me on the Aquaman review, tell me down in the comments. If you disagree, then go agree with Thomas. You get two ways, a good review and a bad review. You know, it works out. I also say definitely go see Bumblebee. You could probably wait to rent Aquaman. I think you should still see it, but you could probably wait to rent it. So yeah, 9 out of 10 9.5 out of 10 Bumblebee, 5 or 6 out of 10. I'm going to go with 5.5 out of 10 on Aquaman. And Merry Christmas. And have a Happy New Year. So, see you next time on Thomas Jack Do Movies.
Aquaman, Aquaman, he talks to fish and does what Aquaman does. Whatever that is, I don't know. I just know that his movie's not too good.
What are you doing?
You're rolling. You don't have to talk to me. I was looking for my headphones, though. Hi, I'm sorry. I'm Jack's father, and he used my headphones to make his movies, his podcasts, I call them. And he gets mad at me because they're not podcasts. They're video blogs. So, forgive me. I'm just gonna go run, and I needed my headphones. So. Good job, Jack. I'm proud of you. Love you, son. Come on, Grizzly. Come on.
Ah. Oh, you are still rolling. Okay. Cool. Well, anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, it's a soft reboot, but still a part of the main story.